P.O.P podcast, let's go. The P.O.P podcast, let's go. The P.O.P podcast starts now.
Hello and welcome to the P.O.P podcast. I'm your host, Jason Sirotin, joined as always by my co-host and friend, Scott Haley. Scott, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jason. How are you, my friend? It's summer's here. We're ready to go.
It's summer and we've got a great guest who is excited to share her knowledge. We have Miss Jenny Bangerter. Did I say it right?
Yep.
I did it after 4 times. And Jenny is working with P.O.P and she's putting on these cool workshops through the Arbinger Institute. And we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to talk about why there's a value in doing it, what benefits you can get out of it, and why it's important and why you should maybe give them a quick look up and maybe schedule an appointment. So let's jump right in. First of all, what are these workshops? What do you do? And let's try to get to the meat of it. What is the core of what you do?
Okay. So it's a 2-day workshop, which is a big deal. I realize to 2 days of your practice and of patient time and whatnot is a big deal. What we're doing with these workshops is really focusing on helping the team to have some mindset shift changes. Whenever everybody's trying to improve, we're all trying to move our practices from this point to this point. We all want to level up and get better. And when we focus on behavior changes and behavior changes alone, typically you can get some type of a change. Things can shift and things can go better for a little bit, but they don't typically last. The changes don't stick, they don't stay unless you've got to get some buy-in from the team. You've got to get them understanding what the purpose of the shift is. So really focusing on a mindset change with the team does a lot of things. So it makes the behavior change that you're looking for be a long lasting change. It creates a culture that's more inviting, but like the patients notice it, the team notices, the leadership team helps them. And then it just helps. It helps everybody to understand the collaborative, that a collaborative approach is actually better for everybody.
What are some like real life examples of like what you guys are helping solve like in these offices?
So, I mean, one of the ones that comes up a lot with orthodontic practices is the clash that happens between the clinical team and like the front office and what's going on with them and understanding. So, and helping to shift the mindset for these two teams in like, okay, I want to do my job in a way that accomplishes my goals and the things that I'm supposed to do for my job. But that's not really enough. We need to do our jobs in a way that helps me to accomplish my goals and helps them accomplish what they're trying to accomplish as well. So instead of just looking at ourselves as our own little island, that this is what I'm supposed to do, when we work together as a team, it really helps lift things up. And we don't always notice some of those things. So we don't always know the issues that are going on. The thing that's cool about the workshop is it kind of brings out those things that may be clashing in a safe space where it's like, okay, let's talk about this. And we're all on this journey to try to, we all want to improve it. It helps everybody to improve it. And we all want a better workplace. Everybody wants to be seen. Honestly, I always say to boil down this workshop into 2 words, I can boil it down into 2 words. And the 2 words are see others. Like see others, like note it. Like if we see others, if we truly see others and we can't take ourselves out of the picture. We're not just like, oh, my needs don't matter. But if we're looking at it as our goals are the same.
Can you explain to folks who might be listening, like what does a workshop look like? Day 1, we get in there. What's happening? How many different people are talking? Is it a presentation? How exciting is it? Give me the whole shebang.
Okay. So yeah, so I mean, I facilitate the workshops and got a PowerPoint presentation that we go through. It's not your typical like Jenny's going to stand up there and talk at you for 2 days. Like, no, this is not ideal. No one wants to sit for 2 days and listen to Jenny talk. Although we do keep it exciting and we tell all sorts of interesting, fun stories and kind of get into some pretty good meat. But yeah, we do breakouts. The real magic happens. So day one is all about self-awareness. So helping people to understand where their mindset is, what it is, are we in the, do I like to camp out in the need to be seen as box, or the I deserve box, or the worse than box? Like where do I typically go? And we kind of learn a lot about each other on day one, as far as like, I'll give examples and be like, if you were being inward and not outward, and we kind of discuss what that means or whatever. But if I were being inward and I showed up late for work, what corner of the box would you go in? And it's fascinating to kind of see, like, somebody goes into the I deserve corner, and we're walking around the room, and someone else goes into the need to be seen as corner, because they're thinking, oh my gosh, like I need to be seen as on time. I need to be seen as prepared. And the other person goes into the I deserve, because it's like, I deserve to show up whenever the heck I want to show up, and you kind of like learn what you're learning about yourself. Like, oh, what are my tendencies and what's going on inside my mind? This is my behavior, but what is my mindset behind why I'm doing this? And it's always, people love that part, because it's insightful to see where other people go. And often people are surprised. Like, they're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that was what was going on in her mind. And I didn't know that was what was going on in his mind. And so the day one is all about self-awareness, and we do breakouts, talk through different situations and things. And day two is a lot of the implementation. So we really get into the weeds of what's happening in this specific practice. What are the issues? We dive into those. We kind of digest them and dissolve the collusions that are there, and kind of talk through them in a safe space, and give some pretty awesome tools for accountability, so that it takes a load off of the leadership team. The accountability is on the employee to maintain the mindset shift. You can't force somebody to do these things. It has to come from within. So having that accountability, it really does take a load off the leadership team, to even have a language to be able to talk about some of these things, to where it's like outward, inward. Some of these, like the words that we use are helpful for moving forward in a team. It's really cool to see how different practices have implemented even just things like that in further trainings that they have for different things.
How does a practice get 2 days of time? Do they typically schedule it for a weekend? How many hours is it? Just kind of the nuts and bolts.
So we can be kind of flexible, actually. Like ideally, it works really well to do 2 days in a row, and it's just 2 full days. We do the training, have a lunch, and then come back, and we're doing breakouts and discussions, and we're walking around. We're not just sitting in the chairs the whole time. We do a little bit of movement, but it is a training. There's videos that are a part of the presentation. The Arbinger Institute is phenomenal at digital storytelling. Like, you watch some of these videos and it's just like, oh my goodness, like that hit, like, whoa, like I needed to hear that. Or it just relates to something personal in your life, or something that you've experienced at work that's so frustrating. And here's this person explaining it, and it's super validating. You're like, oh my goodness. So the digital storytelling part of it is the videos are very well done. It's not like you're, sitting through this boring training. But yeah, so let's see, what were you asking? You asked about.
I was just asking about timing, but
timing, yeah.
Yeah. But you said it, so it takes 2 full days.
Yeah. You can do like if Fridays are easier to get off, you can do like this Friday and then the next Friday. The only thing that's tricky about that is depending on where you're located, because I'm in Utah right now, but I'm actually moving to North Carolina in a few weeks. So it's easier to get, and it's less expensive for them if they can do a back-to-back instead of flying me out twice. But it's possible. Like, it's possible to do, for a Friday, even splitting it out. I've done them as far apart as 2 and 3 weeks sometimes, when it was like, we want this training, we need this training, but we don't have 2 days in a row where we can do it. And we can usually work with that. Sometimes I have been able to smush it into one day. It's difficult. It's a lot, but we can be flexible to what works for the practice if need be. So there's some options there. Happy to walk through those with different people.
So Jenny, I think this is fascinating. First of all, I don't know when this started, probably what, 5, 8 years ago, coming from corporate America, like we did a lot of trainings, a lot of, all that kind of stuff. And it was all online. Right. And, the reality of it is it was hard to absorb that information. I thought sometimes, right? Like, I mean, I was going through the motions to get the star checked if I'm good. Right. And I think a lot of people do. I look back over my career and it's those trainings like this that I did in person where I had to be present. And I was there for that live and in-person training that really have had an impact on me and my journey as a professional over the years. So I think that's really fascinating. I think something that you said here that's really also, I'd like to get into it because these practices are busy, right? Everything's going, and we pack up our stuff at the end of the day, rinse and repeat the next day. But what you said about what did you call them?
Collusions.
Yeah, right. And it's an opportunity, it sounds like, for things that need to be said, should be said. And that creates an opportunity not only for people feeling better, but maybe an opportunity to increase efficiencies and better ROI. Can you talk a little bit about, I'm a doctor, I'm investing 2 clinical days, I'm having you come out. Let's talk about ROI and how this can have a financial impact on the practice.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So as far as that goes too, the efficiency that comes from, well, and I usually we'll do some calls before with the practice to kind of get with the leadership team to kind of dig into what do you want it, like, what are the issues that you're facing? 'Cause I want it to be efficient and effective for this specific practice so we can cater it to that. And it is helpful to have, so if there is something that's like, this problem is a continual problem, we're always dealing with this, and it's so whatever the issue is, it's great to be able to if I have some insight into that, I can help with facilitating those conversations in a way that's safe. But yeah, as far as the ROI goes, it is pretty fascinating to see what goes on, because you can look at these trainings and be like, oh yeah, it's just like a feel good training that's gonna, like, go and be entertaining and whatever. But is it really am I going to see a difference from this? Is it going to make a change? We have as part of the training, we do go in and even quantify the changes that will be happening and that can happen, what's possible for the practice once we start implementing some of these mindset shifts. We don't realize and understand that the cost that these collusions are doing for us. There's an emotional cost, there's a mental cost, but there's a financial cost to having these collusions going on. And it's really interesting and insightful for everybody, actually, but specifically the leadership teams typically, to when we actually dive into what it's costing, like how much time do you typically spend thinking about this? How much time and people are giving their answers, we're quantifying it. And then to be able to be like, okay, what if we weren't, what if we could shift that? And it just is so mind blowing. You're like, I cannot believe that this is what could happen if we can shift some of this mindset. It's hard to understand that. It feels counterproductive. Like, if we're just talking about mindset, not behavior, it feels like it's going to take too long to make the changes that we need. But there's so much research, and we go over that a little bit. There's so much research that says it's actually more efficient, more effective, and it's quicker change, and it's lasting change if you focus at the root of the problem, which isn't the behavior, it's mindset. It's shifting the way that people are thinking, and that's where you really get a good ROI.
Awesome.
And you think that the big, like, experience and a lot of the materials, those are provided from Arbinger. So you're saying that throughout the day, they're going to get pieces of you and then pieces of Arbinger and then workbooks from Arbinger. Like, can you kind of explain how it's structured with Arbinger so that, like, are they giving you the curriculum and then you're executing? How's it work?
Yeah. So Arbinger, typically what happens in a situation where there's an internal facilitator, which is sort of like what I am for P.O.P, is there's a big company and they have someone who is, their job is to facilitate Arbinger workshops and to keep implementing the tools that Arbinger gives you. There's lots of very specific tools that you can use, like, like you're getting PDFs and workbooks and different things that you can actually insert into what you're doing every day. So you get there's a digital. Everybody gets access to the Arbinger's portal, and which has a ton of amazing contact. In fact, there's a lot of sustainment tools that help you to continue with it forward, and they're just included as a part of it. You can and it walks through, there's like a 10-week program that you could do one a month, one a week. You can just do little snippets as a part of your morning huddle. There's a lot of ways that we can talk about that it can keep it moving forward. But there's a digital workbook that each of the participants get, or you can get a hard copy. It looks like this. There's you can, you write in it and whatever. So there's a workbook that you get. But yeah, the sustainment tools are pretty amazing. There's a lot, and I actually don't know that they get implemented as often as they should. Like I think that's somewhere that I would like to help a little bit more after the training to be able to sustain it and keep it going, because there's some pretty phenomenal tools that are a big deal that we get.
If you're not a P.O.P member, Scott Haley is the man you want to talk to, and you can go to pop-ortho.com. Scott, what do people, can they expect if they want to make an appointment with you and learn more about P.O.P?
Friendly 20 to 30 minute conversation. We learn about you, your practice, and then we just kind of share what we're doing in our group, and what we do that is going to help your practice. So it's a fun conversation.
And look at this.
Simple as
He's booked up for the whole month, folks.
Am I?
Well, it's May.
Oh, all right.
You should have just went with it, Scott. Everybody, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. We appreciate Jenny and everybody for joining us today. On behalf of the P.O.P team, I'm Jason Sirotin. We will see you next time.
P.O.P podcast, let's go. The P.O.P podcast, let's go. P.O.P podcast.